what are the things which are off limit? How do you set boundaries?
So there are multiple things. I think social media is playing such a major role in our lives with phones and passwords and Instagram and WhatsApp. उनको गलती से लग रहा है कि कहीं ना कहीं किसी का कुछ गड़बड़ हो रही है या कुछ तो भी बात है या मुझसे छुप रहा है या कुछ हो रहा है. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Then maybe we can talk about parents की बात है अगर तो weekends. Like I would want to spend weekends with my particular friends, family or my parents or something. ये शुरू से बात हो जानी चाहिए आपकी. This is the boundary you need to set. Your goals. We all are ambitious people. You know, it's important that you tell them that this is what I aspire to be. This is what I want to be. How are you going to manage a relationship when a partner is ambitious? What are the points that you have to keep in mind? What is the freedom you have to give? What is the time that you are giving in a relationship to each other for the partner to grow, for you to grow? So it's important that we also talk about that. Again, starting a family. When would you want to start a family? Or your own family, your existing family, your parents, your in-laws, your siblings. What is the time you want to give? How is that you want to spend time with your in-laws? What is it that is acceptable? Going on vacations.
So now, because of COVID, people are just cooped together. How does one crave alone time in this situation? How do you even communicate that you don't want to do everything together? Even if people are working in their separate corners because they have to. Once they're done with work, because there's no other option, what do you do? How do you communicate?
It's a very interesting question because this is the time I think nobody even thought of that it'll come. I remember having a conversation with my friend that she was talking to her husband and she was telling narrating the story to me. She's like, I was just telling my husband that thoda ye ease down hota hai lockdown, we are going for a vacation separately. I don't want to go with you on a vacation. But yeah, so that point of putting the word separately after that sentence was so true that we are so done with sitting and spending so much time with each other. And it is taking a toll on a lot of relationships. I think a lot of marriages have seen a fallout because of too much spending time together, because they did not know what to do because there was no routine. I think one thing that we all lost in the lockdown was routine and discipline from our lives. And because of that. So yeah, I think again, coming back to the first thing, both the partners need me time. It's not that only one is craving for it. It's just that maybe one is more vocal about it. So keeping your point across, talking to your partner about what you feel, how you feel, maybe going for a walk, maybe just having your own Netflix time, maybe just spending your time with your children. But how are you communicating that to them is also the same theory or the same pointers that I told, that you have to be very sure about the timing and how are you communicating that. You have to be vocal about it. You can't just be non-verbally communicating everything and just bringing in the cold air every time and being the atmosphere which is full of cold war. That is not going to work.
How does one actually approach that? So I know that I have an issue. I am behaving in XYZ manner because I've seen that. I want to change. So can you give 1, 2, 3 kind of a process that I need to do? For example, if I'm annoyed and I know that I do not speak out about it. So how do I even know that I don't speak out? Do I write about it? What kind of a process should I follow to kind of change that pattern in me?
See, when we get annoyed, for example, there's always a trigger point to it. It's very important for all of us to identify the trigger point. Most of us do not identify triggers in our life. ये बहुत बड़ा issue है, हमको नहीं पता होता है कि हम trigger कब हुए हैं.
So before the full-blown annoyance, there is a trigger. So
there is a trigger point. Okay. Identify the trigger point. First, you have to identify the trigger point. Then you have to accept it. Acceptance of the trigger point along with the emotion is very important.
Can you just can't say. What do you
For
mean by
example, if
accepting
you
it? Yeah.
let's assume you said you are annoyed. Like, for example, I'm annoyed at a situation. My trigger point is ki my buy is not coming today, for example, and it triggered me to an extent that I got annoyed. कि आज काम नहीं हुआ है, ये नहीं हुआ है. So, have I accepted the fact that my buy is not coming today? And have I accepted the feeling? Because why will I get annoyed? Because I've not accepted the fact simply for anything. When you accept it, you know you cannot do anything about it. So why would you want to feel an emotion? Why would you want to dwell on an emotion and उसके repercussions आपके आजू बाजू वाले लोग लेने वाले हैं? Because end of the day, you're going to throw that emotion out somewhere. Either verbally, either non-verbally, because you're absolutely going to do that. What if I'm feeling cranky, what will I do?
Yeah,
I'm going to throw that.
You're going to lash out.
I'm going to throw that emotion out. If I'm happy, what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to spread that happiness. So all our emotions we are doing something about those emotions. If I'm angry, if I'm upset, मैं workplace से गुस्सा होके आ रही हूँ, मुझे किसी ऑफिस में किसी से कुछ इशू हुआ है, have I accepted it? Once you accept it, you find ways to positively divert that energy rather than just lashing out that energy everywhere.
Okay, so identify trigger, accept what has caused that, and thirdly, once you accept it, you kind of find ways to resolve it, divert it positively. So whether to communicate or to do something else. So we get a lot of questions, queries that my past is my past, but somewhere in my current relationship, my past comes up and the partner wants to know every bit of whatever past I've had. So what is your take on setting boundaries on someone's past?
I do tell them that it's important that I said, don't छेड़ो the topic that you want to talk about your past life. That may get you into trouble. Sometimes you have to play smart. And if the person is willingly asking you, that tell me about your past life. So bring it on to the table. Let's discuss our past lives. You discuss yours, I will discuss mine. And since most of the cases, men ask this question, females don't.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
And so when I tell my clients, if the guy has asked you the question first and he wants to know, so why don't we open the cards with him? You will come to know that how willing he is to talk about. I mean, like, girls have actually come up to me and asked me questions that I am not a virgin, but if I tell this to the guy that I'm currently seeing and he goes and talks to his parents and his parents talk to my parents, my life is dead.
Yes.
So if they've been sexually active in any past relationship, it's like अभी भी उसको एक crime की तरह देखा जाता है कि how can a girl lose her virginity before marriage?
And the same doesn't apply for the man.
It doesn't apply. It doesn't apply at all.
Geeta, something that you would like to leave our audience with, a thought in one line about boundaries?
Boundaries. एक कोट मैंने पढ़ा था कहीं पे जो मैं I would like to say कि पलट कर जवाब देना तो बेशक गलत बात है, लेकिन सुनते रहो तो लोग बोलने की हदें भूल जाते हैं. So it's important कि आप एक definition हर relationship में बना के रखिए, because it's very easy for somebody to snap back at you or you snapping back at them, but that is not helping in any relationship, anywhere. So let not anyone cross that limit, that had. You have to be very protective of your own boundary. When I talk about boundary, what is the thing that comes to you? It's a line, right? Boundary is a line. So it's important that we do not let anyone cross the line It's important that the line of self-respect, love, the way we see ourselves, the way we want people to see us is protected, is respected.